This video ain't gonna make some people happy. So let's just get into it. Hey guys, it's Z from Servant Freemasonry, and I'm here today to talk to you about Freemasonry and our Prince Hall brothers. Now, let me give you a little bit of background as to why I'm making this video. I was sitting at my computer about a year ago, and one of our Prince Hall brothers from another state contacted me and said, "Hey man, I'd really love to come in and sit in your meetings. Is that okay?" And I said, "Yeah, it should be fine. We recognize Prince Hall in our state, so we should totally be recognizing you guys, and everything should be great." Now, I do know for a fact at the time, in about 2010 and 2011, the state that he was in, they did not recognize their Prince Hall brethren. But at the time, that didn't bother me, because I figured, well, if we recognize ours, we recognize theirs, that should be fine, right? So just in case, I kind of got into our book, right? And I was looking through those lodges that we recognize, and I didn't see his state. And so I contacted my Grand Lodge and said, "Hey guys, I think that there was a mistake made. They're not listed in here. I'm just calling just to triple check. I know it should be fine. Everything's good, right?" And I was told, actually, we don't recognize them. And I was taken aback by that. I really was. And I said, "Why not?" Now, my understanding, take it for what you will, is that there is a council of Grand Masters that kind of all get together. Since each Grand Lodge is their own governing body, they kind of have this agreement that says, if you don't recognize Prince Hall in your state, I can't recognize it, because we don't want to cause rift by recognizing someone that you don't. Which I sort of get, that you're trying to maintain peace and harmony. I kind of get under those lines. But that causes a huge problem. Let me run some numbers for you, right? Currently, there are 4 states that do not recognize their Prince Hall Grand Lodge: West Virginia, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Mississippi. Now, let's naturally assume that Prince Hall Grand Lodges have roughly, let's say, 10,000 members in their state. That's 40,000 brothers that I can't sit with in lodge, because their states do not recognize their Prince Hall Grand Lodge. But let's take that one step further, shall we? West Virginia is bordered by 5 states, South Carolina by 2 states, Arkansas by another 5 states, and Mississippi by 3 states. Which means that there are 15 states that surround these 4 states. And if every one of those Grand Lodges, and again, my Grand Lodge that I'm in is a smaller number, right? So we'll just take the base number of what we have and kind of go like, well, this is on the bottom end, right? 15 times 12 is going to be 180,000 Masons that cannot sit with their brothers because they belong to a state which does not recognize their Prince Hall Grand Lodge. 180,000 Freemasons are denied the right to sit in a lodge with those other brothers, those 40,000 other brothers. Now, call it what you want, but can you tell me why, if those Prince Hall Grand Lodges follow the 25 landmarks of Freemasonry, we don't recognize them? There's only one thing I can come up with, really. That's because they're dark blue. Now, let me explain to you what I mean. In the Marine Corps, when I was serving, we had light green and we had dark green Marines, right? Because we were all green, we were just a different shade. In Masonry, I consider my Prince Hall brothers, my dark blue brothers, and a lot of the other guys that I'm with, my light blue brothers, but we're all blue. It's really what it is. So if those Prince Hall Grand Lodges follow those 25 landmarks and haven't done anything wrong, really the only other reason could be is that, well, because they're dark blue. And that's not right at all. Now let me give you just a little bit more history about myself. I went to school in an area where the Klan was active, like very active. And around 1996, 97, somewhere in that area, the Klan was having a rally in my town. Now, my father, and you can see where I get this from, decided that he was going to hold a rally on the same day in another part of the town, and we were going to call it United in Love for Racial Harmony because it was 1996 and 1997. When my father did that, we received death threats. They brought in bomb-sniffing dogs to the church and to our house to make sure that the threats from the neo-Nazis coming from Baltimore, that they were just threats. There wasn't really anything planted. I wore an orange shirt with the blue writing across it, and I wore it to school. And I had kids threatening to kick my tail out in the parking lot after school. That was 1996 and 1997. How is it 2022 and we're still in the same boat, guys? I don't understand. Really, it's a boggle to my mind. If those dark blue Masons are adhering to the 25 landmarks of Freemasonry, they're taking the same obligation as I am, and I know they are because I've sat in those Prince Hall Grand Lodges. I've been with my Prince Hall brothers, my dark blue brothers, and I've had a fantastic time. Then why don't we recognize them? Why are 180,000 of us denied that ability? Now, we're talking about the 25 landmarks of Freemasonry. I'm pretty sure that landmark number 22 ensures the equity of all Masons. It sure doesn't say the equity of all Masons that are light blue. The equity of all Masons. Here's the other thing about those 25 landmarks. Number 16, no lodge can interfere with the work of another lodge. I really think that somewhere along those lines, those 4 other Grand Lodges are interfering with my ability for me to have my lodge and have those guys come in. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but it isn't. My lodge is being dictated who I can have in my lodge by the recognition of another Grand Lodge who doesn't recognize them. It's not my Grand Lodge. It's another one. So here's my recommendation to any of you that are in those lodges, those Grand Lodges that do recognize your Prince Hall brothers. How about we take a solid thought about pulling our recognition from the Grand Lodge of West Virginia, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Mississippi? Now, I know that that seems an extreme case, that there's been no precedent set that that's the case, but there has been. In 2006 and 2007, I believe, West Virginia expelled a past Grand Master. Now, the circumstances of his past Grand Master are documented, and you can find the information if you take a look. Oddly enough, they have a lot to do with what we're talking about right now, our Prince Hall brothers. When he was expelled, he went to the Grand Lodge of Ohio, who welcomed him. West Virginia then pulled the recognition of Ohio. Ohio then, for whatever reason, do I need to go get my tinfoil hat? Expelled that past Grand Master. And then recognition was reinstated between West Virginia and Ohio. So let me think here. Ohio wasn't recognized by West Virginia, so then Ohio did what West Virginia wanted them to do to then reinstate their recognition. I could think of 15 states right now that could pull recognition from those 4 Grand Lodges, and then we can see if this actually turns out the way it should be. Because I'm not sure what you're reading, but I guarantee you the Great Light of Masonry that I'm reading says that we all came from the same spot. We were all created in his divine image. I'm pretty sure that there are words that I've spoken in lodge that says that we unite men of every country, sect, and opinion and conciliate true friendship among those who might have otherwise remained at a perpetual distance. I know I've said that. So why don't we actually do that rather than just saying the words? That's out there for you guys. It's 2022. Let's do it the right way. Let's bring our brothers together. So until next time, guys, stay fervent.